If you transfer Joe
that's all right.
No, they haven't. Yeah.
Your thing, Charlie.
I think cozy, that's too short for it, so why don't we move this further like 4 meetings ago? So why don't we move this further away? Finish with a feeling very cozy. Come on,
Did you see the thing?
Yeah, man, so you have to sit there and then you can... There you go. Now you can move.
Yes.
Where's the
You're out there. You've been there 2 minutes. You couldn't hear out.
He's going to tell you to move away.
You got to see how he's hiding here.
I'm just warming up, I'm not going out again.
He's got a whole deck.
Yeah.
I need it, I need the space.
Excuse me, it's over that side next time.
Well, you could
Pardon?
shout now. That's not working at the moment, but we have some room.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
We'll have to show. That's not quite.
You can Yes. Oh, probably
I think Fraser just explained the broken everything. What's the matter with the mics?
That's the actual box, the system. I haven't got a clue, because he didn't know either. He's going to fix it.
I took it back to couldn't speak much about it.
Yes. It just like us. This chair's in there.
Right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's full council meeting on Monday, the 1st of December at 7 p.m. We don't have any fire drills planned this evening, so in the case of an alarm, please leave the building in the door at the front in which you came, or the doors behind me. Can I please have apologies for absence?
I have apologies from Jay Taylor and Annie Westby.
Thank you. And declarations of interest, please. Councillor Fraser.
8A and 11.
Thank you. I would like to declare a personal not pecuniary interest in item 7 and also in item 15, possibly 14 as well.
And I would like to as well, not pecuniary, just personal.
And the same. And the same.
And Councillor Fraser, please. Thank you. Next on the agenda this evening, we have public participation with a 10-minute allocated time slot. For this, it will be questions in relation to items that are on the agenda this evening. Yes.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, I think that item 7 on here, car park proposal, is against your standard orders. The fact that you're considering it today. It was a previous resolution in October, that's it, standard order 7 by the way, where you actually had a proposal, car park proposals, you're talking about plurals, you're talking about horse bit, and also you're talking about either side as well. And it's minuted here that the Council Dalton proposed option 4 for Queen Square only. So that means that the other two were not considered, so therefore you can't have that item on there for 6 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Firstly, when it comes to the car park, which I'm sure you will discuss tonight, can you please, in interest of transparency, make sure you go through each of the options as opposed to last time when you went straight to option 4? It'd be great to hear councillors debate the pros and cons of all 5 options. That's the first thing. Second thing, item 9, that involves you changing your shop fronts policy to enable local businesses to apply for match funding to fit their own private CCTV systems. Your entire precept comes from residential properties, none of it comes from businesses. All the businesses pay business rates of Breckland. This policy enables transfer of funds from private residents to businesses, and you want to extend it. It looks like a plan to enable a CCTV system for the town, but done on the cheap. Any CCTV system fitted by a local business is going to be solely to protect their own property, not necessarily to monitor locations where there's an operational need. So I have a question for the proposer of that motion, Councillor Reynolds. How are you going to track all relevant administration completed prior to judging an application? For example, ICO registration, data protection impact assessment, legitimate interest assessment, etc. Also, is there a cap on the amount payable to an individual business? And is there a cap payable in total in a financial year? And that's for Councillor Reynolds, please.
That's a lot to take in.
You proposed it?
Yeah, I did propose it. I just thought that would be the best option if we weren't going to get CCTV around the town, is that to protect your own property. Is we've got a surplus in the budget for council for shop fronts. I was going to put it to shops if they wanted to have their own CCTV for the protection of their own businesses.
Okay, so could you answer the question I asked, please? How will you track all relevant administration is completed prior to judging the application?
Well, everything will be sent in. Obviously, they'll get the quotes for them. We'll then push it forward, and then we'll pay towards it.
So you'll make sure that a data protection impact assessment is completed, a legitimate interest assessment, ICO registration, that's all completed before
If I may, I think that those would be administrative responsibilities. They wouldn't be the responsibility of any individual councillor.
Yeah, thank you.
And that would be
Reynolds as the proposer.
That would be subject to the approval of that amendment. So.
Yeah, my question was for Councillor Reynolds, not for you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I can answer it. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it.
If I may, the local clerk would like to.
Well, I think with a lot of these things, sometimes the idea comes through as an idea, and then there's administrative processes that need to be done alongside it. So, if the councillors approve the grant scheme, then, like I say, all the points you raised that may or may not be important will be put in place before the grants are administered. So all the kind of due diligence you were mentioning, I would expect that then that would be looked into once the councillors have decided they want to proceed with it. And if it throws up, in the process of doing that due diligence, if it throws up issues that maybe weren't considered at this meeting, then I would expect that to then be brought back and say, Clark to say, actually, we've done a bit of work on this, there's a bit of problem with it, we need to consider this, that or the other. So it doesn't necessarily have to go into all the details at this stage, but councillors can consider it in principle, and then more detailed work can be done later on to make sure, like you say, all the points you were raising that may or may not need to be in place will be put in place.
Thank you, Jamie. If I may as well, sorry, Jamie, just to double check, the public participation section on the agenda, it's not actually a question and answers. There's no emphasis that a councillor has to.
Have you stopped the clock?
No,
I mean, it's public participation, we can ask the questions, but at the end, surely the council can answer after all these people want to ask a question.
well, it's
public
not
participation.
it's public participation, but as I'm sure most of you will know, there's no right for the public to speak at a meeting. There's a right for people to attend a meeting.
To see the count.
No, let me finish. Shall I finish? So there's you're given the opportunity to speak, to raise items. It's not a debate with councillors. Councillors can choose to respond if they wish to, if they ask questions. They're under no obligation. They will listen to the points you've made. They will take all those points on board when they're doing the deliberations, and that's it. It's not, it's not something where you need to have councillors can choose to respond if they wish to, or they may wish to say, thank you, that's very interesting, I will take it all
that
on
on board. But what happens in these meetings, I don't know who's got a stop clock tonight, but normally there's a stopwatch on the public. You get councillors interrupting people or answering questions for 7 minutes, and the public lose their minutes. All I'm asking you is, surely public participation should be public participation. They all ask their questions, and after that, the councillors can respond. Or is that not how this works?
There's no right or wrong of it. So you've got 10 minutes. So if the first person comes along and asks a very long list of complicated questions. Yeah.
Any further questions? Yes.
I don't know whether I'm allowed to ask this about the EGM.
I think if you've got a question pertaining to the EGM, if you could send an email in, that would be the preference, as it's not on the agenda this evening.
I'll get back to you. I'm quite happy to do that, but I will be sending it to all the councillors.
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening. I fully intend to come to tonight's meeting and praise lots of the councillors around the table. I think lots of them have done good things over their time on the council. Some of the new guys have still got to prove themselves. Some of the long-standing councillors have done good things. However, the charade that we experienced outside at 6 o'clock this evening was awful again. The optics are dreadful, absolutely dreadful. I was going to say the council have got an opportunity to stop flirting with this idea of the car park, spending a lot of our money on the car park, and the ridiculous idea of the splash pad should be absolutely taken out of the town's village. There is little or no support for it. I have family that live in St Albans, a town of 100,000 people. They put in one. It's been an absolute waste of time. It's not fit for use, rarely used. When it is in use, it gets vandalised. Please don't waste our money on it. You've got the opportunity to right some of the wrongs which you've created by doing the country park in the town properly. Invest that money there for the whole of the town, and you'll get the praise you deserve. Waste it on the splash pad, and you'll be ridiculed forever. Please think about how you spend our money. And if that is not something you want to take on, I will return to the point I made 2 previous meetings, that the town needs to have its say, to have representatives who they believe in, and that can only be done apparently by all of you standing down en masse. And at the previous meetings, everybody agreed to do that apart from one councillor who seems intent on being a one-woman roadblock to democracy in the town. And that's not how democracy should work. Thank you.
Any further questions?
I sent an email into the clerk about the splash pad 10 days ago and I've had no reply, not an acknowledgement, no a reply to my questions. Why is that?
Unfortunately, the clerk isn't with us this evening and I couldn't respond on her behalf.
But this is the issue. This is the second time I've sent in an
What
email.
was the point you raised in your email?
The point being raised, I'm asking why we've been told to send in emails and when we do, we don't get a reply. We don't get an acknowledgement to say they've received it and we don't get an acknowledgement to say anything's happened.
But what, if you could share what you put in the email about
It was
splash
all
pad?
about the splash pad, how we were going to fund it, how we were going to pay for it, who was going to insure it, where the water bill was being paid from, considering the issues that we've got at the Boros Club with its electricity bill, which is through the roof and we haven't got an answer for. It was being looked into by the clerk, but obviously the clerk's not here again. So basically I want to know is, I'm paying my duties and I want to know why I'm not getting a reply. And saying she's not here is not good enough.
No, but the points you wanted to raise about splash pad, you've now raised them. So
I've raised them,
councillors are now aware.
but nothing's happened.
Well,
It's been
councillors are
ignored.
aware now.
In my book, it's been ignored.
Well, the councillors are now aware. So,
Well, are they?
well, you just told them.
Yes.
So what action, can I ask what action will be taken to deal with the questions?
The question of the cost of the splash pad. Well, I assume the councillors are aware of them and they will take them into consideration when they make the decision.
No, it wasn't about just the cost. It's nothing. We've agreed it with no documentation on cost. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking is where is my money's being spent and it's been ignored and it's on the agenda again and nothing's been done. What more?
I think the points you've raised will be addressed when we get to that specific agenda item. I'm now going to go to Mr. Allington.
Yeah, a couple of quick ones. You alluded to Horsepit car park the other week and said you didn't really see the need for that car park. I drove past there tonight. Have you asked the residents of Chapel Road for a need for that car park when there was a lot of terraced houses down there? Where they park, where their families park on the weekend? I'll take that as a no. My second question is this. You also said in a meeting a few weeks ago, you weren't bothered either way whether we purchase car parks or we don't. So I would presume from that comment you would be abstaining tonight on any vote relating to a car park. Is that correct?
No, I think the point to make is in
I'm going to
respect
what you said
in respect
the
of
other
the
week.
car parks.
And the third point I want to make, you also asked another question. As you as a Breckland councillor, did you vote anywhere at Breckland to purchase these car parks? You kind of skirted and said no. Did your mother vote?
To purchase the car parks?
So did you have a conversation with Breckland about the purchase of the car parks for Attleborough at Breckland level?
No. Breckland level spoke about
So in
selling
no committee did you voice your opinion?
about Breckland selling the car parks.
Or
That's completely
selling
that
or
wasn't
purchasing,
that
whatever
wasn't
way
your
you want to look at
question.
it, Sam.
If I may, I'm just going to bring this back to order. The answer is no. Thank you.
So no Breckland councillors had any
No. No, they
Fine.
Thank you. Any further questions?
No, that was it.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to come back to the full council agenda and close public participation following the allotted time slot. The next item is item 5, which is minutes of the last council meeting on the 3rd of November 2025 for acceptance and approval. Councillor D'Souza, proposal, seconded by Councillor Bircham, and can I have a show of hands all in favour, please? Councillor Taylor, are you abstaining?
I am, because I wasn't present at the meeting.
Carried with one abstention. Next on the agenda this evening, we have committee membership to consider any additions to committees for consideration and resolution. Councillor Dale.
I asked if Councillor Burrows can go on the GP&F. He has so much experience with financial dealings, and I think that's what we need on the council, a bit more understanding of financial dealings.
Councillor Burrows, would you like to join that committee?
Very much like to, thank you.
Is that a proposal, Councillor Dale?
Yes, it's a proposal.
Is there a second? Councillor Adams, second. All in favour? You can vote for yourself, that is unanimous. Thank you. Would anyone else like to join any other committees? No? Okay. Then we'll move on to item 7, which is the Breckland car park proposal to consider the acquisition of Horsefit and Edenside car park, Attleborough. I will first just come to our local clerk this evening. Mr. Burton in the public audience was quite right in regard to the resolution. It was for the Queen Square, and I think it did specifically say in the minutes only. So would that then negate this item and make it
I wouldn't have thought so.
invalid?
If no decision was made, no decision was made one way or the other. So it's not affirmative, it's not negative. So no decision was made. No decision was made, no decision was made. So it can be the decision on the other two could be taken tonight. Is that? So that, as I understood it, you've already taken a vote on Queen's.
So the original proposal from Breckland was a offer with 6 options that applied to all 3 car parks. So the car parks being Queen Square, Edenside and Horsefit. So Councillor Dalton proposed that option 4 be taken on Queen Square only. And that was a motion that was carried.
Right.
So it's the phrasing of only. Obviously, does that then mean that a decision was made for it only to be Queen Square and not Edenside and Horsefit, which I think it could be perceived that way, or is it's only been made in regard to Queen Square and no decision in respect of Edenside?
I suppose it depends on you as the council. I suppose, because at the end of the day, you're not making laws. You're not breaking any law. If the intention was only that one and that one only, and definitely that's all we want, and we never want to look at anything ever again, or it's really entirely up to you as councillors. You know, it's sort of, you can interpret it however you like. You know, if you feel, well, you don't want to consider it, it's on the agenda. It's on the agenda now to consider those other 2 car parks. So.
I will say as well, before we get into the debate, as Mr. Hamilton said, I'm not particularly precious about either of these proposals, and you know, either way, I've not come here with any preconceived ideas. I have, however, knowing that it's on the agenda, had an opportunity to speak to some of the executive members that are associated with this at Breckland, and am aware that even if the town council was to make a decision now at this stage, as the deadline has passed, it's not to say that we would then be successful. So whatever option, if there was an option made this evening to acquire, it may well be that it never completed before the close date. So it may well be that it's then so much of a better phrase, waste of time.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, just a very, very quick point. There's damage to Edenside car park on the wall. Who is liable for that? Is that, let's say Attleborough take that on, who is liable for that damage as it was done under Breckland's tenure? As taxpayers, if we move forward, do we as taxpayers have to pay for that repair work, or is that covered under Breckland? This is a simple thing that
I don't, you know, I suppose it depends on a lot on the circumstances. But at the end of the day, you know, we're doing the same in Durham, we're taking the car parks on, and there are many issues like that. And at the end of the day, there'll be a lot of risks that you won't be aware of now that will crop up.
But as residents, we'd like to be aware of those.
If I may, this isn't public participation.
No, sorry.
Councillor Middlebrook had his hand up. I will first just read an email as well. I don't know if members have seen this because it came in quite late today, from Ralph Burton at Breckland Council. Have all members had an opportunity to read it? So it says, as you will be aware, the government has launched its review of local government in Norfolk and has recently received 3 proposals and is currently consulting the public on these. There is an agenda item later for us. We know from other examples of local government reorganisation in the country that there will be a specific time when Breckland Council and other councils will be prevented from undertaking some non-statutory activity, and this will include property transfers. Our objective has always been to work as fast as we can to avoid getting caught by the deadline, and therefore any transfer of responsibilities must be executed swiftly and efficiently. We know a legal process will have to follow which will take time, but we don't know yet. What we don't know yet is what the cut-off will be for any non-statutory type of activity. All of this led us to create a deadline of the 7th of November to hear back from all town councils on the offers Breckland Council has made. We appreciate that this is a challenge for town councils, but we do not wish town councils to miss the opportunity to take local control of public car parking. If town council decisions are delayed over this matter, there is a risk we will not be able to get this completed in time, and there is a risk of this already. So as I obviously previously alluded to, even if the town council did want to take those car parks under any of the options, it may already be the case that before completion that the transfer fails. I'll come to Councillor Middlebrooke first.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but I said this at the last meeting. It's minuted in the last meeting that following Councillor Dalton's proposal to take one out of the 3 car parks, it was voted on with your casting vote. The decision was made to take Queen Square at the payment of 145,000 with a commuting sum to come back. At that point, the debate on the car parks should be finished. It should not be on this agenda, and I continue to have that view. If we, for some reason, bring it back to the table today without an EGM or anything to say we want to discuss it, I personally will only vote for the option that we take the car parks at nil cost. Other councils have done this. We have to do a report in accordance with the Local Government Act 1972, General Disposal Consent of England 2003. The other councillors are having to do this, so I don't see any reason why the councils that have made that choice and made the choice to take them for free don't work together to provide one report that covers, and literally you change the name at the top, Attleborough, Dereham, Watton, Thetford, whichever. So, but I reiterate, I don't think we should be having him on this agenda.
Councillor Dale, did you have your hand up?
No, it was about the wall. I've asked the clerk to report it 2 or 3 times. It is dangerous, children are walking on it, and there's going to be an accident.
I have also reported it to Breckland's Properties team. I'll come to Councillor Adams first.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether I'm missing something here, because I still can't understand how we can purchase a car park or even attempt to purchase car parks when we've got absolutely no real costs. We've only got 2 estimates that Breckland Council have given us. They can't tell us whether they're accurate or not, and they made that very clear at the other meeting. So why are we just wandering on down this path to purchase car parks when we haven't got a clue what we're actually paying for?
We have had the cost.
We haven't.
Okay, we have.
We have not.
We have. They were presented in a report. It's actually publicly available.
No, they were not presented the report. Why didn't we get the report then?
Councillor Adams.
Why didn't we get the report?
Don't shut me.
No, I'm asking you why we don't get the report, and you're ignoring my question.
You have had the report.
We have not. The only report I've had so far is this piece of paper which says that that's the price we're going to pay for them, and their estimates, and the Breckland Council actually told us they were estimates. So please, can we actually sort this out?
Can you improve your conduct?
No.
Thank you.
Can you? Can you also stop telling lies?
I'm actually
Thank you.
not shouting at you, and
No,
I can back up what I'm saying because
No.
it's publicly available.
Where?
If you don't understand that,
Literally.
that's on you. But,
Councillor
but
Middlebrooke
I
just
don't
read
feel
the
like it's
figures.
appropriate to take that level of aggression in a public meeting that is a professional business meeting where we're here to conduct business on behalf of the council.
No, you're really.
And actually, at this point, you're actually taking time away from Councillor Bircham because it is his time to speak.
I'd just like to second Councillor Middlebrooke. Obviously, if council's already at risk of breaching its own policies, then further discussions will further breach them.
Yes, Councillor Middlebrooke. Others.
Right, as per
the financial regulations and procurement policy, item 13D says, no real property, in brackets, interest in land, shall be purchased or acquired without the authority of the full council. In each case, a report in writing should be provided to the council in respect of valuation and survey condition of the property, including matters such as planning permissions and covenants, together with a proper business case, including an adequate level of consultation with the electorate. I don't think that was done.
Thank you. There has
So
been.
that was not a proper way to buy it, because we had not done due diligence.
Councillor Burrows, if you can just hold up for just 2 seconds. This has been explained several times in email that actually it has, and if you have umbrage with the standing order not being specific enough, then I suggest that you make a motion to the Standing Order Review Committee to amend that standing order to put in an order in which that needs to be done.
Why don't we stick to our standing order?
We have.
It
It's
seems
been
that when
fully
some of you want
observed,
to go
fully
beyond that
complied
side,
with.
am I not
Do
allowed
not
to speak?
speak over me while I'm
Well,
chairing
I was
this
speaking
meeting.
first.
Speaking is decided by the chairman, and while I preside over this meeting, if I would like to speak and add clarity to you when you're saying the town council has not complied with the standing order when it in fact has, I will correct you. Councillor Allen, I'm not going to take you. What I am going to say is there has been a proposal, I believe. There has been a seconder, I believe. And if you would like to then take a vote on that, I'm very happy to. But I actually feel that a drawn-out discussion on this item, if the council's will is not to proceed with a discussion or debate on this and to close this item, then I'm very pleased for you to do that. But I think that actually a lot of what's been said at this table this evening is inaccurate, not true, does nothing for public image or public trust.
Stop speaking then.
Can we please put it to the vote? Is that your proposal, Councillor Middlebrook, that we do not take a vote on the acquisition of these 2 car parks this evening?
I propose that it's removed from the agenda because it shouldn't be on there.
We can't move.
And we can't. It's just that we would go to the next order of business.
Well, in that case, I propose that we do no longer discuss that.
Yes, okay. Do I have a seconder to that? Well, I think Councillor Batcham, you seconded it, didn't you? And can I take a show of hands, please?
Ignore me, please.
Councillor Batcham would have seconded.
I want to be ignored. Shall I go and stand in the corner?
Councillor Adams, I am just going to say this: you are being highly disrespectful.
Ladies and gentlemen, please can we have a recess?
Agree.
To calm this meeting
I second
down
that.
and then finish the meeting, please.
Yes, good idea.
Thank you, Councillor. Yeah.
What about you? Can we have a 10-minute recess?
Good idea.
Everybody can go in there, make a cup of tea. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and
I'm happy to take a 10-minute break. If there is one more interruption, and if Councillor Adams cannot improve his conduct, the meeting will close.
Thank you.
And your conduct as well. Disgraceful. Bloody hell.
Yeah.